Well, everybody, it's a sad day. The mill is done for the winter. Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. And today is Wednesday, our follow-up video. And as you can see, I beat the snow. So we had a lot of good questions and comments, but first I just want to go back to last Wednesday, the follow-up video and the snowstorm video. So we got that snowstorm Tuesday night into Wednesday, and it didn't look like a lot, but it was so wet and heavy that it just stuck to everything. It settled. You know, looking at like the roofs and stuff, I've got 3-4 inches on the roof, but when you actually were out there when it was fresh, it was 8-10 inches. It was deep here. So it settled a lot, but it's still clinging to everything. We got that wet, heavy snow, and then it got cold. So everything is still covered. It's not melting off. It's not disappearing. So check out that video from Wednesday and the follow-up from, I can't remember what that video was now. Last week. Oh, the lean-to roof. Yeah, the lean-to roof. So as you can see, that's doing a very good job keeping the tractors covered. So with that, let's dive into the questions. There were a lot of good questions. And some of them I think I've answered before, or I know I have answered before. Let's see if I have any service out here. Look at that. So as always, if I don't comment or reply to your comment, that's because I'm saving it. So it's easier for me to sort it out this way. And so there was a lot of good questions, comments, some really kind of dumb ones. But I want to address these first ones here. There was 3 of them. Please skip the soulless AI crap. Please don't use AI or I will unsubscribe for your benefit. That was funny. I thought that was hilarious. And this one kind of hit me. As a musician, I believe that AI-produced music is bullshit. Nice sawmill, though, made by your hands, not a computer. So let's address that AI music stuff. You know, I kind of got into this a little bit because I thought the music was a good touch. I generate it, I create it, the computer just puts the words together, puts the song together, and does all the hard stuff that I don't have any skills at doing. Now, if somebody out there wants to do that for me, I'd be grateful, very grateful if you wanted to take that on. But as it is, this is, you know, it's putting together something that I feel adds to the channel. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen. You can skip it, whatever, unsubscribe, whatever. I don't care. But this is what I'm doing, and I really think it adds because it conveys conveys my emotions, everything. You know, it conveys all of it. I think it really added to the video, and a lot of people agreed with that. So anyway, moving on. Do you have a steady supply of logs or do you buy them? So I have 35 acres here. We get the logs from here. Carl has several hundred acres, so we get the logs from him. And then also, he's got a lot in town that they're going to start clearing out actually should be this next week. And they're going to bring a couple semi-loads of logs out for us for the spring. So everything is locally sourced. We haven't paid for a single log that we've sawed because it's been off of our own properties. So that's been a great thing. And as you can see, it's been a huge benefit all around. I mean, we got the lean-to. We just about got the everything for the rafters for the shed here. And then we're going to need a bunch of 1-bys again for the purlins for the rafters. So we're making good progress. What would be the most productive amount of people? I'd be guessing 2 on each side of your setup. So realistically, we do great with 2. You know, just Carl and I. A third person does sometimes get in the way on this end, but a third person that is running from here to the other end to help me, I mean, they're putting on a lot of miles. That does help a lot for rolling those logs, but if it's 8-foot, 10-foot, 12-foot stuff, it's not an issue. 2 of us do just fine. It's when we get into that longer stuff, like that 15-foot stuff I did by myself, would have been a wonderful thing to have one more person. What RPM does your blade turn? So The blade runs, I'm running 520 RPM. I have it hammered for 520 because that's what the steam engine was going to run it at. So I just run just a little below the 540 mark on the throttle on the Super M, and it runs just fine. So, and there's some leeway there. You get about, I think it's 20 RPM either way. You get, so once you bring it up to speed, you'll see it start to steady out, and then you're right at where you need to be. So this one was asking, what is the board thickness of each pull of the carriage handle? There's no set thickness. There's no stops. There's no nothing. I just go by the gauge. What type of wood? This is all red pine, so Norway. So, wow, 40 minutes to warm up the old tractor. How many cups of coffee was that? None. 20 minutes to get the tractor warmed up enough that I felt safe putting the PTO on. 20 minutes to warm up the hydraulics on the sawmill, circulating the fluid till I felt good enough to get it moving. But I was doing all kinds of stuff in that amount of time, walking around, getting everything ready. So there's a lot of prep work into this, but 40 minutes was well spent doing other stuff. Do you have any kids or spouse that ever help with the hard work but fun things like sawing? Or is it like here where I became a member of the FFA for the last 15 years, aka Father's Farm Alone? Actually, my wife of 41 years and I farm alone. So yeah, I totally understand that one. So my wife offered to help, but she doesn't want to be on camera. So I just did it myself, just because she doesn't want to be on camera. And there's so much going on here that it would have, you know, she would have been on film. So she doesn't want to be on scene, you know, but she offered to help. So yeah, she will help if need be. Kids, nope, they're gone. Step kids, and they're both out in the world on their own. Did all the snow melt off, or did you record this earlier in the week? I recorded the sawing video 2 weeks ago, so everything you see is not real time or next day. Never. Not a chance. In fact, I have a video coming up in a couple weeks that was filmed 2 months ago, just because I couldn't get it into the schedule of where I wanted it. So everything is kind of all over the place. We could be about a couple months out at any given time. So don't ever expect it to be real time or, you know, near time. Was that snow or rain I could see falling while you were sawing? That was snow. That was 28 degrees, so it was snow, and it was miserable. It was cold and didn't stick, luckily. It was small and fine enough, but it was crap. Any use for 1-inch scrap offcuts, or will they just be firewood? So that wasn't just 1-inch cutoffs. It was whatever's. I mean, it's, and so 1-inch cutoffs though generally become our stickers for stacking. So that we save that. Everything else is cut up for firewood for the steam engine, or we have a wood stove in the house, and I mean everything we saw in the summer is more than enough to heat our little house. But I know a lot of people have asked this one about heating the shop with wood, and it's not feasible. It's not economically feasible. The amount of money I spend for fuel, for the tractors, the saws, the everything, I was actually losing money versus just turning up the thermostat and running the electric boiler. Okay, let's take a short break here from the questions. And on a cold day like this, nothing beats a ice cold beer. And tell you, after a summer of sawing or fall, I've deserved it. So cheers. Oh, that's good. Set it right there in the snow. Okay, apart from experience, how do you know just where to position the flat boards for the first cut so you know where the last cut will be to get the right finished lumber? Something with the gauge. So a lot of experience, but yes, my lumber scale gives me everything I need. Every board finishes at 1/4 or 2 inches. That's the finished, absolute thinnest board I can cut. We designed it that way because a lot of the older mills were that way, and it's just safest. You got more you're holding on to, but so my scale goes to 2 inches minimum, and then everything above that is all calculated in for each amount of blade width. So we want a 1-inch board, it's cutting 1 1/4 inches. If we want an 1.5-inch board, it's cutting 1 3/4. We want a 2-inch board, it's cutting 2 1/4. And that's giving me my finished size. So I hope that answered that. This one is asking about a log turner. And as I said in the video, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in overly complicating things. I don't want any extraneous crap. Yes, a log turner might be handy, but I don't want it. I don't need it. You know, for me, it's all about the experience. It's about the fun. You know, wrestling logs is actually fun to me. It's you know, it's recreating history. It's what they did 100 years ago. You know, I'm just, that's what I find fun and enjoyable, is doing it the hardest way possible. And I enjoy it because this world has gotten so soft and lazy that doing it the hard way actually feels good. You know, I do a lot of things the easy way because I have modern equipment. You know, I got a 1960s payloader. I've got 1940s tractors. I've got, you know, but doing it the old way is still fun. I enjoy it. So no, I have zero intentions or interest at all in a log turner, a log deck, powered rollers, powered anything. I just don't want any of it. I want to keep this mill as simple and straightforward as possible. Okay, do you saw your lumber to true dimensional or lumberyard dimensions? So they're sawn to true 2-inch, 1-inch, 5/4, whatever. They're sawn right to that size. So a 2x6 is 2-inch by 6-inch, exactly. How do you store your lumber to keep it flat and straight while drying? Okay, this one I will come back to because I'm gonna show you what we do with the lumber. Do you cut wet 2x6? When it's dried, is it still 2x6 or do you lose some size during the drying process? Yes. Yes, and so it all depends. So I've seen, I had boards come off of there that were so wet and heavy I couldn't lift them, and I had boards that come off of there I thought were a feather. And it kind of depends on how the log is, you know, the tree is health-wise and it's drying, just sitting there. Those didn't sit there very long, but they dried a little bit. And so the ones that were lighter and drier, they're not going to shrink much. The ones that were absolutely soaked will probably shrink about 1/4 inch aside, or 1/4 inch total, so 1/8 inch aside. They'll just shrink down a little bit, and sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. I've sawn oak, and I metered it right off the mill. It was like 60% moisture, 58, 54. It was very wet. When I finished, I took it in the shop, put it upstairs in the office in the air conditioning, stacked and stickered it under the ceiling fan, you know, just to dry it out so I could work with it. I had it down to 4% and it hardly shrunk at all. So it was incredible. I mean, it really didn't shrink. I was surprised. Few comments about offering to help, and if anybody ever wanted to help, you know, reach out. If you're local to the area, you want to help saw, I've got another friend not far from here. He's got a mill and he's always looking for help too, and he saws all year. So if anybody's interested in working with a good sawyer, either, you know, I don't consider myself a good sawyer, I just do it for fun, but Dale is a great sawyer. Hi, Dale. And so if anybody's wanting to do this, you know, just to help out and to experience it, I'll get you in contact with Dale, or if we're sawing ourselves. So please reach out. Here's one that made me chuckle. Big Willie the saw even works when it's really cold. So I got the Big Johnson and now Big Willie. So that answered all the questions but one that I said I was going to come back to. Oh, I definitely deserve this. And let's go over to the lumber pile and I'll show you how this works. And it's covered in snow right now, but it should give you a good idea. All right, here is the boards. So on the bottom there, those are the 20-foot 2x8s, stacked and stickered. And then on top are the 39 15-foot 2x6s, 39 of them. They're all stacked and stickered. So these little sticks in here, we call stickers. And that's creating the air gap. That's what's drying them, but it's also helping to keep them straight. Now on top of there, I've got some shorter boards for weight, and then I've got tin, that leftover tin that Todd brought us for the lean-to roof, and obviously snow on top. That weight will keep these boards straight. The ones on the bottom will absolutely be perfect. The ones on the top might have a little twist to them, but they will be perfect. The 2x8s, they've been drying a while, and they're really good too. So that's how we air dry. Partially air dried, this is called, as far as my lumber grading stuff goes. But that there is quite a nice pile of boards. 39 15-foot 2x6s. There's one 2x4 in there hiding. There he is. And then I don't remember how many 2x8s I have. I have enough. 20-foot 2x8s. So that's how you do that. And like I said, they will hold very, very close. So I hope that answered everybody's questions. And I appreciate everybody sticking with me and following along. Even it's cold out here. We got 20 degrees today. Actually, it was 17 when I walked outside this morning. So got a lot to do yet today. Outside stuff, getting ready for more winter prep. And yeah, so thanks again, Stuart, for the beer. Cheers. And I appreciate everybody sticking with me. And remember, Saturday is the 5-year anniversary of the channel and the big announcement. So stay tuned. Don't miss it. Tell your friends, whatever you need to do. And subscribe if you like this content. Stick with me. Lots of cool stuff coming. More projects all the time. Like I said, we got to put a roof on this sucker yet. So till next time, don't freeze your butt off.